right, hello there. This is Dr. Tim Becker again, and it's time for us to take a look at all about products and brand strategies. Now let's first take a look at what a product is. First of all, the product is what people are buying. Now when I say product, I'm going to be talking primarily about the product, whatever the people buy. So it's either something very tangible that you can see, feel, or touch, as well as a service. We'll later on differentiate between a product and a service, but right now we're going to cluster those two. So essentially what the product is something that's physical, and people are using this to somehow benefit themselves. And the buyer is looking for some sort of change, okay? And that's really what good marketers have to focus on, is what are they looking for, okay? People are not just buying a product for its color, or its size, or its shape. Ultimately, what you have to think about is that they're buying a product or a service in order to achieve some change. So for example, if you buy a Coca-Cola, you're not really wanting the beverage. What you're looking for is what the beverage delivers to you. And that's what you'd call the benefits. That's essentially the change. So essentially, by buying a Coca-Cola and drinking it, you are getting decreased thirst, maybe increased energy, but that's what you're buying it for. So if you were buying a car or a laptop, let's focus on a laptop. Most people really don't want the physical unit of the laptop. They're looking for the output, that when you have the data and the software and then the indications or the instructions from the user, you get the output. That's what you're looking for. The increased communication, the increased learning, the increased speed of development of spreadsheets, documents, videos, you name it. That's what people are buying the products for. So what you want to look at from the company standpoint is that you should be able to identify, and get this, 125 features. Those are the characteristics of the product. So the color, the size, the shape, the price, the distribution, anything that you can come up with about the product. So again, when you're looking at a car, it might be the speed of the engine, the type of tires, the weight of the car, what kind of radio it has, brakes, and so on. Okay, those are all the features. So you have 125 of those. The company should be able to identify those. Then you have the roughly 10 to 12 benefits. So of those 125, each of those has some sort of a benefit, an increase in something and or a decrease. And the more specific you can be about the increase and decreases, the changes the people are getting from that, the better you are. So for example, if you can get decreased weight in a weight loss program, so you have a decrease in weight of 20% within 30 days. That's the way you want to do it, is really be specific with it. Okay, so from a company standpoint, the product has 125 features and 10 to 12 benefits. But that's what the company designs in. Now, what you have to figure out is, what do the customers want? So out of those 125 and the 10 to 12, ultimately products are bought for somewhere around 10 to 15 features that are very important to the buyer, and 3 to 5 benefits. And that's what the marketers have to focus on, is enabling the buyers to see that from the 125 and the 10 to 12, that this is what they're really looking for. So if you're into sales, for example, you're going to be trying to find out what's most important for someone. So if they're looking at buying a laptop again, are they looking for the features, a low weight, a large screen size, and maybe a long battery life? The other things are important, but those are the real features that they're looking for. And then you convert that over to the benefits. So what are those 3 to 5 benefits to hit those features? So that's what they're really looking for. So whatever you're trying to market a product or service, you're focusing on delivering benefits that people are willing to pay for. Okay? So when you look at products, there are all kinds. There are industrial products, there are agricultural products, There are military products, certainly some consumer products, and then we also have services. And the services are the intangible. It's what a customer at a hotel might get, or a movie theater. What is it? It's a service of delivering the films and the nice rooms and things like that. So that's what they're really looking at. It's not so much, you're not buying the bed, you're not buying the movie, but you're buying access to it. That's what a service is. It's intangible. And who delivers it is the people. Actually, the people that are delivering the service are part of the service. So someone at a hotel, the check-in person, or the reservations clerk, or the housekeeping, they're part of the service. So they are heavily involved in that. The one thing you'll notice about services is they tend to have typically a wide variance of performance. Some are okay, some are very good, and that's that gap that the customers really don't want. They're looking for consistency with a high level of satisfaction. So one of the things you have to be looking for is, with a product, is branding it. And over the last 5 or so years, branding has become increasingly important. And you'll find that companies are trying to get a wide variety of products under a particular company that has a good brand. So for example, when you look at Gillette, typically has the razors. Great. They also have Duracell. Gillette owns Duracell. And they also own Braun. They bought Braun. High quality products that are under the umbrella, the brand of Gillette. And actually Duracell is a good brand, and so is Braun. But they ultimately fall under the Gillette name. And that's what you're really looking for. And brands have real value. There's some value in having a good brand because it has that recognition, the appreciation, the satisfaction, the quality, perception of the product. So, but brands, the brand value builds over time. So, for example, when you look at a product like a Coca-Cola or, like, for example, Starbucks, that took a while to develop. It wasn't a household name right away. It took a while. And it builds based on having lots of consumers get involved in it and multiple experiences so that ultimately it's great. They like it. So you figure that the brand is the reputation. It'll include the reputation, the quality, the performance, the name of the company, the term it is, and the design, as well as the symbols. So when you look at Duracell, you see the battery, maybe the bunny. Okay. When you think of Starbucks, it's the green umbrellas and the green awnings, and inside they use a lot of green. Well, that is Starbucks color and fits into the brand very nicely. But it's all those things that help identify the product. So when you think of, for example, of Kodak, Kodak has a very special yellow. That's part of the brand. The name Kodak is part of the brand. And the reputation that's been around for 80, 90 years, and the level of quality is also part of that. Okay? So now what you're looking at in brands, one of the things that, or looking at products, products have what we call a life cycle. And what you're looking at doing with the life cycle is to have the product delivered at a particular time, and over from that point when it's first introduced to the public through when it dies out, that's known as the product life cycle. Now what I'd like to look at is when you're talking about a product is you want to get the consumers to buy the product at the earliest stage that they can buy it, and and then buy it as long as they can. So when you're looking at McDonald's, for example, they typically will start kids with Happy Meals at about age 2, and a high volume of purchasing will go on typically with that child for many, many years until they're an adult, and ultimately 35 or 40. And that's when it really starts to taper off. And so the product goes through the life stages of the introduction, the growth, the maturity, and the death. Now the ideal is not to have the product die out. In the mature stage, when they have market dominance typically or have a big market share, people know about the product and they're buying it, is to stay in that mature stage. So there tends not to be too much competition, and people are buying that regularly. So you're talking about products such as, well, maybe Microsoft software, Tide, some of the household detergents, some of the toothpaste. They've been around forever, and all they're trying to do is stay in the market. And what they do is introduce new products or services throughout that mature stage. So as things starting to taper off, they introduce something new to get it back up. And it starts to taper off again and do something new. So going back to Tide, what they've done over the last 25 or 30 years is introduced new smells, new colors, new features where it can handle bleaching, just be for white clothes or be for all service clothes. They'll change the different containers from boxes to the liquid. And that's what that's doing is giving them a chance to stay in the mature stage, give the advertisers a chance to advertise the product many times, and keep the sales up. And in the United States, Tide has about 36% market share, which is about all households. So there's a lot going on around brands, and what we're in subsequent chapters, we're going to be discussing about advertising and how do we distribute the product and getting it out there. But that gives you a quick overview about the products and services. The most important thing to take away from this is the features and benefits are what the people are looking for. The benefits are what people are buying. So with a product, identify, either create if you're on the manufacturing side, but on the other side, if you're marketing and selling, you're trying to identify those benefits, the increases and the decreases that people are looking for that will come as a result of the using that product.